Hi everybody, and welcome back to our Edith Holden altered file folder. So I'm doing one and then we're making the next one up together so you can see where we're going. This is the one that I've been working on, and this is how far we've got with the one that we're working on together. So today we are going to be looking at the other, I also made this little tag. It's just a little hexagon with an Edith Holden picture in, put a little ribbon tie in the corner. So that's in there as well. That does go in there, yes, like that. And the two tags we're going to be making is this, the big tag, this one, and the one that goes in the envelope, which is this one. And slightly alter them today, but there'll be, this is an approximation of how they will look. And the only other thing that we're going to do is stick a whole page of Edith on each page of the inner side of our file folder. And you see I've also made use of the title page where it says what the book's called and who it's by, and I've cut her name out and put it up there, so it just, I don't know, just kind of like it amuses me. So let's get cracking making these two tags. That's the first job. So put both of them away in an attempt to keep them clean. So the first one I'm going to look at is this one, and all I've done so far is cut the tag out, and the tag measures 6.5 by 3.5 inches, and then I've cut my corners into it. And the only thing that I've done is I've taken a strip of Edith text, stuck it down there, and then trimmed it off to the shape of the tag. So what I want to do now is put some, you can either use acrylic paint or gesso with a little bit of colour in it, or anything. You could use watercolour really if you wanted to. I just wanted a bit of texture, so I decided to use acrylic paint and a sponge to apply it. So I'm just going to squeeze some out onto the saucer. You don't need masses, but in order to get texture you do need some. This one is a Sennelier abstract colour and it's called Flesh Ochre. I think that's a colour peculiar to this brand. I haven't seen it before. It's a cream, basically, any sort of creamy type colour that you've got. And I'm just going to take my sponge, pick up some of that paint, and then it might be better if I had a piece of kitchen towel behind it. I don't want to get acrylic all over my board, ruin it. I'm trying to be precious with this board because I've ruined so many others. So I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera, but it just leaves a texture, and I'm going over the text as well. I'm just going to need a little bit more paint, I think. Sponging does actually use quite a bit of paint because the sponge needs to get charged, as it were. So that in itself takes up quite a bit of paint. Just carry on. You go over the text as much as you like or as little as you like. That's it. Get some texture in there. Just adds a bit of interest, that's all. Doesn't do anything else. Just a bit of interest. I'm just going to come down there, that line where the text joins on. That's it, just like that. So there we are. I'm just going to leave that to the side to dry for a minute. Hand this to Mr. Fix-It. Thank you very much. So I'm going to leave all of that and all of the doings for that over there just till it dries. It won't take long. It's actually quite warm in here today, and you know, the paint's not that thick. Acrylic dries quickly anyway. But we'll turn our attentions to this one. And this bit here looks like it needs a little bit of glue, so I'll just pop that down before I forget about it again. So I'm using Fabri-Tac here because it's getting stuck down onto that fabric. So there we are. Right, so basically what I've used for this is the same size card. Is it? It looks smaller. Yep, same size. And what you need is your base, your card shape. I've used a couple of die cuts, but you could really, really easily use fussy cuts, and they really would look just as good. These are die cuts using scraps from Edith, you know, and I've torn something out and I've got just a little bit of scrap. I put them through my die cut machine. Or should I say Mr. Fix-It puts them through the die cut machine. And then when they're even less than that, then I've got a little Sizzix tag set, and some of the tags are titchy, so I cut some of those out. And then when there's like nothing left really, you can have a look and see if you can punch some little circles out of it. And then after that, it really has to go. There's nothing left in it. I've got a butterfly that was in the book, and it said peacock butterfly, so I've cut that out as well to go with it. And I've got a piece of card that sort of fits inside the rectangular part of this, and so it measures what does it measure? It measures 3 1/8 actually by 5. So 3 by 5 would suit you fine. It would be great. So I'm going to stick down, and this is, well, I don't know whether you'd call it Hessian burlap. It's quite fine. It's quite a fine fabric, but it's not sort of as fine as that. I don't know, it frays nicely anyway, which is really why I wanted it. And I'm going to attach it onto here with double-sided, because I think if I use glue, it's going to come through and you'll be able to see it. And that'll just look nasty, so it's not what we want. So double-sided will do the job really nicely. So this should cover the entire thing. So put it on, try and stretch those creases out like that. That's fine, that's good. Put that in the bin. I've got Edith Holden die cuts everywhere, because I know for once I put them in a box, they're just going to get squished up and I'll never find them again. It's always the way. So I'm going to put these 2 die cuts on in a pleasing fashion. I quite like them when they're sort of straight, when they're coming down straighter than that. So with these being so thin, they're fairly bendable, go kind of wherever you want them to go really. And that one down there, yeah, like that. I mean, assuming they're straight, that's fine. See what I mean about them getting tangled up? They're awful. It's just got itself danced. So let's apply the big daisy first, which is probably my most used of all the Tim Holtz wildflower sets. I love this. I love when you've cut it, the stencil that you get from it. I like it when you paint it or colour it with felt tips or whatever. I just find the shape really pleasing to me. And the set of stamps that sort of goes with these, there isn't a daisy in it. What a shame. But there are the other ones. Or some of the other ones anyway. Right, so let's just put that there, sort of at the top like that, where I'm bringing this down fairly straight, like that. That looks so pretty. It really does. And then this one, which I'm probably going to have to chop the bottom off the stalk, but that's all right. We'll do that once we get it in situ and see what we need to chop off. Let's put some glue on it anyway. So I just want that coming up there like that. That's nice. Push those together a little bit. Yeah, lovely. Lovely job. That just needs trimming off as we suspected it would. Chop it off that. Right, lovely. So next is a little bit of, well, I haven't got any fine linen twine or anything, so I'm just using my crochet cotton. But if you've got fine twine, this is the time to get it out. And we're just going to go around and leave enough there to make a bow. And just go around about 3 times. 2 or 3 times, whatever takes your fancy. Maybe one more. Make it 3. There we are. And cut that off with enough room to make a bow as well. And then tuck one of your ends underneath all the strings that are going round the tag. It just keeps it in place. So that one's underneath there. So when I tie it, they'll all be together. So pull it so they've all got a little bit of tension on, but you don't want to distort your card either. So just tie a knot in there. I'll tie a double knot in it just in case somebody comes along and pulls the bow out. Little bow in there. Pull the ends down. We want a bow, but we don't want it too extravagant. That's fine. Chop your ends off. This doesn't unravel, but if yours unravels, tie a knot in it before you chop the ends off. And if you want, you can put a little bit of Fabri-Tac there and just stick that down onto there so it'll never move, but it's fine anyway. So we're going to put this butterfly on, which also came out the book, so everything really is Edith. And the little name of the butterfly, which is a peacock butterfly. So I don't really know where to put this. Do I want it down beneath the string? I could get it under the string, like that. That probably looks quite nice. I don't think there's a probably about it. It does look quite nice. Yeah, the only other option is up here, and then everything's up that top end and nothing down here. So I'm going to do that, but I am actually going to glue it under the string. This one I've just noticed I've glued over the string. Nothing wrong with that. It'll keep the string in place if nothing else. But I don't think I want to do that with this one. I'm feeling I don't want to do that. Oh no, having said that, that looks quite nice. No, I'm going to stick it under like I said originally. Stick by my original thoughts. So I'm using Fabri-Tac because it's getting stuck onto fabric. That's a fairly generous amount actually. So I'm just going to push it up under there. Lift the bow part up as well. Up to there. Lovely, that's nice. Press it down. That's nice, I like that. So then we've got our peacock butterfly, which, yeah, it's definitely going down there. I'm just going to give it a quick kiss with the bundled sage, so it's in keeping with everything else that we're doing. You could have inked your die cuts if you want to. I didn't want to. I like them nice and bright like that. Bit of ink, bit of glue. That goes down there to let us know what that is, and it's peacock butterfly. Right, so we're nearly finished with that. We just need to stick that square down onto our tag shape. It's going to go there. Oh, it's going to be nice, isn't it? Before we do that, let's just ink around the edges of the... I've got some pencil lines on here. See if I can find my eraser. Here we are. Just going to get them off before I ink over them, and then they'll never move. So it's just a little job, but it just makes a world of difference to how the thing looks in the end. So this ink, I told you last time, it's bundled sage, and it's a I think it is the perfect colour for Edith. It's not like a Christmas Jingle Bells type green. It's not even a bluey green, I wouldn't have said. It's just perfect. It's Edith friendly. So there we are. That's some ink down there. And then I'm going to stick that onto there with this, which is Aileen's Super Tacky Glue. Because ostensibly all we're sticking is paper onto paper. So this is really fine for this job. Plenty over the strings, keep them in place. Not that they're going to go anywhere, because we've knotted them and tied them in a bow, so they aren't going anywhere, but if you just put an extra bit of glue on them, then they definitely won't go anywhere. It's a rainy day here today in the north of England. Really miserable. We've got the fire on. It's horrible. So square that up. And Aileen's does give you a couple of seconds to think about things. I think it's looking all right. Maybe slightly more that way. Yep, that looks good. And I'll just use my dry wipe to just squish that down as much as I can. I don't really want to use my bone folder particularly, because I'm worried it would catch on some of the die cuts or whatever, so just give that a good squish down. And if you've got one of these, a brayer, this is probably a good time to just use it. Underrated tool is a brayer. Right. Lovely. So all we need to do now to that is back it onto some coffee stained paper, if I had any, which I have, so don't worry. So just I'm just going to use, as I normally use, glue stick, but I'm not convinced that I'm actually going to be sewing around this one, so I'm going to use glue stick and then a little bit of Aileen's around the edge. Because it's lumpy, I can't get the glue stick down uniformly, so that will stick the middle. And then I'm just going to go around the edge with Aileen's belt and braces approach, but nothing wrong with that. There we are. Stick that onto the coffee stained paper. Should be able to stick it into the corner, hopefully, if it's square. Yeah, amazing, marvellous. And just get your bone folder and go around the edges. There we are. cut it out, put a bow on the top, and we're good to go with that one. I use seam binding for the bow on this, and it's such a lovely thing to use. If you haven't used seam binding before, go out and get some. It's just a lovely soft, very soft ribbon, and very often it's sold scrunched up, because people like it when it's scrunched up. I personally prefer the flat version of it. If I want to scrunch it, I can always scrunch it myself, but I buy it flat. And a lot of people buy the white or the cream and dye it themselves, also a good option. Right, so with this one, with the existing one, I put 2 holes in, and then this is the seam binding I'm telling you about. So for 2 holes, just get it square on the top there, and I want 1 hole here, 1 hole here. Get the crocodile out. Now you only need small holes with this because it's very fine stuff, is seam binding. So just using the smaller hole on the crocodile, smaller punch, there we are. And then that's the one I use, and it's called Rose Beige. It's gorgeous. And see how fine it is, it's very fine. I guess it's for binding things like seams in blouses, etc., maybe underwear, that sort of thing. And you wouldn't want to have thick seam binding. It would look awful. So I'm guessing, I'm only guessing. I'm just folding it up and pushing it through, persuading it through on with the end of that. Right, so I really don't want this, I want it smooth, flat on the back. So I'm just going to hold it and pull that square down there. Doesn't want to go flat. It's flat on the other side, so that's fine. Then tie it. You know how to make a bow. There's no point me telling you how to do that. I'm sure you're much more adept at that than I am. I'm absolutely rubbish at tying bows. I'm getting slightly better as time passes, and I've tied more and more of them, but I'm not brilliant, no. So I'll just cut that off at an angle to stop it fraying. And then this one as well, a bit longer down there. So there we are, we've got our tag, the same but different. Quite like this one. I like that one as well though. So they're ready to go in our file folder. Now then, is this dry? Yeah, that's lovely and dry. So onto that we're going to put this cutout, fussy cut from Edith Holden. And I'm also going to stamp on this and put this down at the bottom. And I've got the words that are this is a common gorse, or win apparently, Ulex europaeus. So I could put that, you know, anywhere I wanted to really. And it came off page 17, so I've cut the number out. I don't know why, I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. It just looked too nice to chuck out really. So I've salvaged it. So I think the first thing that we need to do is let's ink round this a little bit, not too, let's not go too mad. And then we'll get that stuck on. So this is just another couple of ideas for you for Edith Holden tags. Of course, you can use your own ideas. These are just as I say, just my ideas. And you can take them and change them and do what you fancy with them. So that's just got a little bit of green around the edge, and it just takes away the white cut mark from the paper. And I'm going to ink around the tag itself. The acrylic does take the ink quite well. So I'm coming in quite a distance actually with this ink because I like it. I really like it. When I've got the ink out, I might as well ink around the name of the plant. Actually, this common gorse is very prevalent up here in the northeast, up on the fells. I can see it out my window. It always looks such a pretty colour, you know, nice and yellow. But it's so spiky and horrible. Excuse me. You don't really want to be getting anywhere close to it. Just ink around my number as well. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that, but we'll see. When we're on the inking department, I'm just going to take my bit of cloth, which is it's not the same as this one, but it came in I bought a set of fat quarters of these neutral colours, and it came in the same set. Made frills with it and pleats with it and all sorts of things. I really like it. And I'm going to use a little butterfly stamp, this one, and the ink that I'm going to use is Stays On. Find you get a crisper edge with Stays On rather than the Distress inks, but I'm not using black, I'm using stone grey. You could use sepia actually. I might use sepia if I can find it. This is Ranger Archival, which is another permanent ink. I'll use that just for a change, just to make it a bit different from the other one. So I'll ink it up. Let's hope this works, because I really am not the world's best stamper. This wants to curl up, this fabric. That might not be good. Oh, it's not too bad. That's adequate for the job, I would say. Let's just cut that down there a little bit, because it's nearer one side than the other. Which I'm not surprised, because it was trying to curl up on me. Should have stuck it down temporarily or something. Just fray down that side that I've just cut so they all kind of look the same. There we are. Look at that. You'd never know there was a drama, would you? Excuse me, I just have a drink. Right then, so I'm going to stick my gorse on. Let's just have a dry run, shall we, first? That's going to go there. This butterfly is going down there, I think. We're glad to get that butterfly stuck down because it's just really not wanting to stay flat. So that's going there. Down a bit. I might put the explanation of what it is up there. I don't want to come in. Yeah, that would be all right, I think. And then the number. Don't know. Do not know. I'm definitely putting that there. The number I'll worry about at a later date. Let's get this stuck on. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because it's I'm not sure of the surface it's going onto, and Fabri-Tac won't let you down. The fussy cuts that you can get from Edith are quite incredible, and I know it always seems like it's a waste because you're cutting them up, cutting good full pages up to get fussy cuts out, but I think fussy cuts are far more easy to place than the full pages. Although you'll see in a minute what I have used full pages for. See what you think. Right, so let's get this down. I want it half and half sort of thing, half on the text. It's just a line of text there, so I'm just going to angle it so it covers it there. Get your dry wipe out. Okay, right, now I'm going to stick this on, but I'm going to stick it on with double-sided, because otherwise the glue will most definitely come through there. No, that's it. Nearly had a calamity, but no, we didn't. I do wish this wouldn't keep trying to curl up on me. It's most annoying. Once I get a couple of pieces of this on, it won't be going anywhere. Maybe you're supposed to iron it. I mean, come on, iron. I don't think so. Very little in this house gets ironed. The only thing that gets ironed is if it's in relation to crafts, and it has to be ironed. Take that off. I'm wondering if that's going to be enough to hold it. I was going to put another piece along the middle. It's probably overkill. Sure it is, only a piece of light fabric, but I'd rather have too much than too little. Right, there we go. Okay, right way up would be help. Don't stick to yourself, you stupid butterfly. Right, let's pop it down here before it drives me any further mad. Oh, don't stick there. Well, I've lost some of its tassels because it's stuck to itself. But apart from that, it's fine. So I'm not too disappointed about that. That looks all right there, actually, doesn't it? So I can put that there, definitely. That's definitely going there, I think. Definitely, I think. Yeah, that's going there. So I have already inked around these, as you've seen, so I can just get glued and go straight on. Bring that down to there and off to the side so I can still get my lace or whatever it is I choose to use in at the top. Lovely. So where's 17 going to go? There. I think that is the sensible place for it. And you don't have to use the page number. It's just I kind of liked it. So there we are. Right, put the lid on my Fabri-Tac, and the only thing remaining now is to put a tie on it. I don't know where, oh, it's staring me in the face. I used this green thin satin ribbon to put a bow on it. It's gone a bit wonky actually. But I don't have to put green on this, so I put green on that because I had green there. I don't have to put green on this. I could put some more satin binding, seam binding on. I think that's a bit pale for that actually. It needs to be quite robust to stand up to this colour here. So let's see what else I've got. I've got that peach, bit peachy. Pinks, bit pinky. Okay, what else is there then? There's a nice, that's nice. Yeah, that's really nice. It's just, can't describe it as a goldy sort of colour, I think I'd describe it as probably. But it looks like it's just the job for this, so that's grand. Blimey, it's a day of everything sticking to me. Right, so I want a piece that I can make a bow out of. I want to mark my holes, of course, obviously, otherwise I can't use any ribbon. So I need them about there and about there. I'm going to use the bigger hole this time to get that ribbon through. It's just a bit thicker than the other. Just to see if I can get these level. Not too bad at all. It's just got a nasty sticky bit where the sellotape's been on it for carriage. There we are. So there's just one more thing that we need to do after this to get ready for the next step, if you like. That's a nice colour. I'm glad I chose that. It's just perfect. Just perfect. And it's quite in keeping with Edith because it looks like the same colour as the old book pages. I like that a lot. Too much ribbon, so just chop it off. Same up there. Right, so we should have all the tags and stuff that we need. Let's just clear this a little bit. Really, they should go into my snippet box, but never mind. So we've got 2 of these now on the go, as you know. So in this one, we've got the little hexagonal one with the little ribbon in the corner. This one that you saw me make last week. We've got this one, which goes into the envelope. And we've got this one, which also goes into the pocket. So let's put the big one into the pocket first of all. This one goes into the envelope. Nicely like that. This one goes in sort of that angle there, and then this tiny weeny one just goes in there, fills the pocket up. So there we are, we've got a nice full pocket, looking really, really pretty. And this one we've got the same, exactly the same. We've got 4 tags. So this one is the one that goes into the envelope. Forgot to back that. I'll come back and back that later. It's just, you could journal on it, definitely, but it's just a bit thinner than the rest, so I'll come back and sort that out. Just tie that nice and tightly. There we go. And then we've got this one. It's really pretty, that, isn't it? Made that last week, didn't we? Goes in there. The big one goes down into there. And it goes there. And the little hexagon one just tucks into there. Right, lovely. So we've got both our fronts finished. They're now done. Happy with those. They look really nice. And full and very Edithy. Very, very Edithy. Now then, the next thing that happens is the inside. You might see also that I have actually used the top of the file folder, you know, the bit that this shape, and I've taken the out of the book. In the front of the book it says Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady by Edith B. Holden, and I just cut her name out and I've stuck it onto there on both of them because it just amuses me. It's just funny. So as you open this up, you'll see what is to happen. There we are. Now don't get worried that it's not lying flat or anything, because we're a ways away from that being a concern. All we've done is we've taken 2 full pages of Edith, and it is staggering how close in measurements the pages are to what we need. I mean, it's like, you know, half or nothing. It's amazing. So we've still got to do that for this, for the new one. This one that we're doing together. So I've selected 2 pages, and they really could be anything. You know, any pages that take your fancy, and I've cut them off at 6 3/4 wide, and I have literally taken a sliver off the bottom, and by a sliver it's not an eighth, it's some measurement less than an eighth, and they get glued in like that, so they'll look like that. And then the next time that you join me, we'll be cutting along this bottom and insetting a pocket. Yikes! So use whatever glue you want to use. I used Aleene's actually for mine, and I've inked around them quite extensively, as you can see, and that is how they look when they're finished. It's nice, that Edith Holden there, isn't it? It's just, I just like it. So it's virtually the whole page. If I take a page out of a book here, this is a full page just taken out of the book, and you'll see it's virtually, cut this off at 6 3/4 across here, and then if I line that up at the bottom there, you'll see it's like nothing to come off at wherever you decide to top or bottom. So sort your pages out, ink around them, cut them out to 6 3/4 and a sliver off the length, and stick them down to either side. Don't come over that foldy bit. We've got Tyvek on the inside to protect it, so it doesn't need any more protection. So those are the 2 that I've chosen for this one, and then these are the 2 that I've chosen for this one, which I think look nice as well. And then the next time, as I say, you join me, we get into the technical build. Okay, thanks for joining me today. See you soon. Bye.